All right, good people. It's your boys. You got Vel in the building. You
It
know
is Zyrus. I'm here. We
what?
alive.
Yeah,
We
we
in the
here.
building. Big dubs.
Big dubs. It was good to bounce back. We talked about it. We more ranted about some things last week, but at the end of the day, I think we both were on the same page with let's bounce back. Let's start stacking one win at a time. But we knew that this week wasn't going to be an easy week. We knew with Baker Mayfield in town, Baker was going to give us some Baker vibes, which he did. Show off that toughness, that competitive edge. Even showed off some of his sneaky athleticism. But what a game! We'll do definitely views from the couch, views from the stadium. But I'll start off with UZ. How was your week? How was your weekend? How things going on your side?
We good, man. We good. All is well. Life is good.
Yeah.
Kid keeping me busy. This
Yes, sir.
weather is getting trash, but
Yes,
we got
sir.
some sunlight today, so I ain't gonna complain.
100%.
But all is well, bro. All is well.
Yeah, man. It's as I tell people, it's that weird time of the year where you like gearing up for, the end of the year goals slash if you work in our field of numbers, you're trying to close out the year strong. And then in our personal lives, right? Family time, Thanksgiving, Christmas, birthdays. We know, Scorpio season about to come to an end, but a lot going on. And obviously those who are mourning, there's been deaths left and right. Every time I'm going on Facebook now, and I don't really spend too much time on Facebook, but there's always someone passing away. I know I had someone who I went to, I grew up in the church with. Her name was Shantae Woodley. Just want to say rest in peace to her. I ain't seeing people my age. I mean, any age really, but go through those situations where you can't control the outcome. Cancer is one of those things, as we all know. Anybody listening or anybody can relate that cancer is yeah, any
Mhm.
nasty word you can think of. So definitely praying out to my church family. And then I know there was another minister that passed away in the Buffalo church, I mean in the Buffalo community, that was well known as well. His last name escapes me, but it's just been a lot of different things going on. So I definitely want to say those who are celebrating life, those who are mourning the lives of people who have gone, we with you. This is that time of the year, and we say this every year when we record. It's that time of the year where you got so many people with mixed emotions. So I always tell people, you know what I mean? Be kind. Be kind to the next person. Show love to the next person because you don't know what somebody going through. So wanted to start off on a non-football tip, but I'm gonna ask I'm gonna ask you Z first. Um, would you like to go views from the living room first, or views from the arena?
No, spark it up, bro. Let's see what it was looking like in the stadium.
All right. I will say, couple of people I got a chance to see stop by. I got my man Mike Cole, who's a Tampa Bay Buccaneer fan. So, shout out to my boy Mike. He stopped by the tailgate with my man C Hill, and we had a good time. Getting ready for the 1 o'clock games, as I always say now, 1 o'clock. Man, oh man, I know I took it. I know we both took it for granted, or we all took it for granted early, but um 1 o'clock games, man. Yeah. Outside of that, just being there, great atmosphere, good energy from start to finish. We know it was a wacky kind of start to the game. That first half was something that most would deem is not normal. Just with
Right.
those turnovers, we had a chest pass in there in the first half, and a lot of different things that was going on that was a little weird, but all in all, it turned out in our favor. Man, Josh Allen had 6 touchdowns. Anytime you get a chance to celebrate 6 touchdowns with the people in your section, it's always a good time. So it was definitely a party towards the end, and good energy all around. Even the Tampa Bay Buccaneers fans that walked in there with their chest out. By the time we got to the later part of the third, fourth quarter, you could tell they was kind of like, oh shit, I'm getting nervous now because now Josh starting to pile up them touchdowns. So uh, good to see the Cape come out when needed. We'll analyze, certain small things that we like, but I just gotta say the atmosphere at the stadium was as usual. Great energy, loud. Like I said, even the Bucks fans that were in there, they weren't too ignorant. So shout out to the Bucks fans that popped up in the section. But all in all, 1 o'clock games can't go wrong. A little breezy, but we got the dub. And
A little breezy, cause man, on TV, them
yeah, them things.
flags at the top of the stadium was whipping.
I'll tell you like this: we had to go inside the RV. I'll tell you like that because that tent that we had no chance. So
Oh, y'all ain't but y'all normally got the weights and all that.
we got all that, and the one joint made a little weird noise where we had to be like, plan B,
Pivot.
plan B. Because let me tell you, so that win from about 8 a.m. till 10 a.m. that was a serious win. I would say it kind of calmed down throughout the day after 10, 11 a.m. But it was still, I mean, it's Orchard Park, man. You're gonna get all types of wind gusts and all that shit out there. So it was definitely your typical welcome to winter
Well, you
kind
gotta
of
say welcome
game.
to winter. Yep.
But we've sat through worse. So I ain't even gonna try to front like that game was something crazy. It was just windy out there. It definitely felt like 40. But I have sat through worse. So outside of all that though, Z, man, what was the vibes like from home? Nervous at first, man. How was you feeling?
Oddly enough, this game. It was while it was going on, it was never nerves. Like I think early on, I realized like I don't think Tampa Bay know how to stop Josh Allen right now.
Right.
After the first handful of drives, I'm like, oh yeah, they having some issues. So I'm like, as long as the defense can get a couple stops, if I can get 3 stops,
Right.
I think this game is good. So like, I wasn't overly nervous because the Bills, they were moving the ball. And I'm like, if they're continually moving the ball and continually getting to the end zone, I'm like, I like their chances here because I know the defense is gonna make a stop eventually. So I wasn't overly nervous. It was a pretty calm game for me, at least. They were able to lock it down in the second half and put that game out of reach. So it's a nice little bounce back game.
Yeah. And we all know I do want to go before we analyze or not even analyze because I hate when we spend too much time on the past game. I know got a quick turnaround game with this Houston game, so we don't got to go too crazy this episode. But I did want to I wanted to make sure we didn't skip over this part because this was the talking point before the game. Keon Coleman. Before we jump into the unsung heroes and all of that, we know that they were missing a piece of their offense. Not just Kincaid with the injury, but Keon Coleman was, I guess, quote unquote, late to a meeting or didn't show up for a team meeting, and he was essentially suspended 1 game. Right, coach's decision, whatever word you want to use. He did not suit up, and that left reactions right across the mafia, Bills fans who have been down on him. That was their victory lap, right? They was like, up. Told you the motherfucker not serious. He's not blah blah blah. Here we go, baby. Get him out of here. Fuck him. So just just your initial thoughts, and then now that we've had, I would say 3 or 4 days to digest it, man. How you feeling about the situation?
He gotta grow up. It's time to mature because again, you're a professional at the end of the day, and I don't even mean professional athlete. Like you're an adult, you work just like everybody else. At the end of the day, yes, you're an entertainer and all that, but this is your job. You got to show up to work just like the rest of us. Like, yo, if you can't do that part, you get reprimanded just like anybody else. But I also don't think it's any bigger than that either. Like it's happened multiple times. So yes, this ain't your first rodeo, but like, yo, you gotta step up. You gotta show up. But it do I think it's a bit overblown? I think so. I think so because again, I remember being 22. I've had some issues showing up on time and being where I'm supposed to be. There's definitely some maturity things that comes with growth and getting older. But
Yeah.
He is put on notice at this point now because with the opportunities given to him, other people stepped up.
Right.
So now it's on you to not only do what you're supposed to do. Now you got to do something extra. Now you need to stand out. Now you gotta fight to get your spot back. And
Yeah, regardless of what play calls come your way.
yeah, it's self-inflicted. So you put yourself in that position. It's not the end of the world, but now it's on you to step up and show your teammates that you can be counted on and depended on, and show that you can provide some value to this team. You know,
Yeah.
at
I,
this point, that's what he got to do.
yeah, and one thing I'll say real quick, if, as far as advice goes, because I feel like not too many people are even like coming from a perspective of like, damn, like not only do we want to see you succeed, but there's a lesson here that you should learn from it. And it's not more so like, all right, fuck you, you should be inactive for the rest of the year. Oh, we look for 44 points without him. Up there we go, baby. Let's go. No Keon, we don't need him. If I was his agent, because I know he got a good relationship with his agent, or if I was a family member, the toughest part is that sometimes these athletes surround themselves with a bunch of yes men, right? They're not gonna keep it real. They're not gonna tell them like you're doing too much. They're not gonna tell them, yo, listen, during the week when you got practice or a meeting the next day, I ain't telling you got a bedtime, but I'm telling you should be in the house before midnight if you know you got to be down at One Bills Drive at 6:30 in the morning. Um, it's something about every once in a while it happens. It's something about some of these young cats that sometimes don't get it right away of how serious being a professional athlete is. We look at, I mean, I follow basketball very closely. We've heard the stories about stars showing up hungover, late, shit, fuck practice, basically. Shout out to
Shit,
AI, right? But like,
showing up high.
yeah,
J.R. Smith.
but
We're not
right.
putting
But we
J.R.
know
Smith.
that with that though, what happens with some of those guys? Some of those guys are so talented. And I saw somebody put up, Shannon Sharp had a video where he brought up like this tolerance, and then we talk about productivity. Like
He
with
hasn't
those
earned that. He
right,
hasn't earned that yet.
right.
You can get some grace. You can get some benefit of the doubt when you have proven yourself on the field.
Yeah, right.
You
As
you
that
haven't
guy.
done that yet. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's not even because to me, and this is what I continue to go back to with Keon, because this was like, again, this was a topic for the last 2 to 3 weeks. It's not like a guy who's not talented, right?
Right.
Like he has some physical traits about him that can help this football team. I will continue to say that until he's no longer on the team. He has a skill set, if used correctly, that can help a football team, and I believe it can help our football team. But I think that when you're young and you've always been crowned that guy, right? High school, he got his jersey retired, played both sports, right? A beast. Goes to the Michigan State, playing ball, playing football. He crowned as like, man, dual sport athlete, first round pick probably in the next couple years. Go to Florida State, dominate. Now you in the NFL playing with an MVP quarterback, and you probably think like, shit, all I really got to do is show up with my number 0 jersey and be ready to catch pass from Josh Allen, and I'm good. Bro, it's work. And that's why I hope that, it was good to see Dion speak up. It was good to see some of the veterans say a couple things. I know the veterans on the Bills, we talked about it before. They don't really say too much publicly, but they could say stuff behind doors. I don't know. But like Dion saying what he said, the coach kind of putting it out there and playing right, and like, listen, this is what we expect. This is what we need. And I hope that he receives that and takes that well. But I go back to originally saying he needs people in his corner to let him like shake him a little bit and be like, yo, fam, this is your life right here. There are guys who don't see another lick of football after 2 years. After 2 years, second round pick or not, there are motherfuckers who get dropped by the team
And that's it.
and they do whatever in their personal life and they can't get it back. Because now you done stepped away from the game for 3 months, and now they telling you to get in shape, and now you done gained 20 pounds, and now you running routes looking like Calvin Benjamin. Calvin Benjamin was once in the league with 10 plus touchdowns. 4 or 5 years later, and I know he had a longer time period. 4 or 5 years later, he was done. He couldn't get it back. You know what I mean? So I really hope that this is a teaching learning moment. I mean, it's a teaching moment already, because you had to watch your boys go out there and hoop. 44 points. Your man Tyrell Shavers, who shared the same agent as you, he goes out there, lights it up. Gabe Davis, who they just picked up off the couch, he goes out there, 3-4 catches, 40 yards. So like, You got dudes your size who can play multiple positions and they producing. And it's not to say that him not producing is his fault, because I still go back to Joe Brady in that conversation. Excuse me, conversation. But I just wanted us to touch on that because I'm just like, man, after the weeks that we done dealt with, hearing his name get dragged all over the place, for you to show up or not show up, yeah.
Just
Come
not
on,
a good look.
come on, Key. We
Yeah,
out here trying to
listen,
root for you. And I'm saying right now,
you got to take advantage of the next opportunity you get.
100%, because we know there's some injuries coming into this week, which we'll talk about.
Yeah,
He better be ready. That's all I'm
yeah.
gonna say.
Because again, injuries aside, if they made it out of that game with no injuries, I don't think he getting the jersey this week.
Probably not.
But he might get the opportunity strictly
Off
because of injuries, and if he does, he gonna have to step up.
Yep. And I know I've been hard on Joe Brady, but Joe Brady called a good game. So let's go right to it though. Unsung heroes of the game, man. You can pick either side of the football. We already mentioned one guy, so I don't know if that's too obvious, when we speak about a guy like Shavers, but who was your unsung hero for the game, man?
Shit, it got to be my man Shavers, man. Listen, that is the definition of taking advantage of your opportunities.
100%.
The guy who has been getting 70, 80+% of the snaps is out the game.
Yep.
And now your numbers have doubled this week, or your snap count doubled, and you went out there and led the team in receiving. So, yeah, you deserve to be shout out because you took advantage of the situation that was in front of you. I mean, you grinded for a couple years to even make the team.
Yeah.
You've been getting a handful of snaps every week, but when you get your number called this week, you showed up and showed out. So, he deserves that. Also shout out to Gabe Davis, coming off the injury, super long rehab, coming back and making immediate impact. Big fourth down catch, couple catches down the field. Chemistry with Josh just looks natural, like they never left. So, shout out to him as well. It's nice to see a familiar face that we know is someone that Josh trusts.
Yeah, and he understands Josh.
Yeah, 100%. If I pivot over to the defensive, well, also give a little shout out to Ty Johnson. Because he had the long touchdown. He probably should have had another one on that play that was intercepted, because Ty Johnson was definitely wide ass open.
He was. That's why they had to come back to it.
I'm just like, oh, that's wide open. But shout out to Ty too. While I'm still here, before I go over to the defense, also shout out to Ray Davis, man. His returns.
Yeah, he was.
I don't know what he was on. I said Dante Hall in the flesh. Like, what are we on?
He was giving flashes of you remember old boy from Philadelphia back in the day, Brian Mitchell?
Oh yeah,
throwback. One of the best kick returners of his time, and he had the running back build and all that. I'm gonna have to go pull up the highlights after that. But I thought about that. I was like, yo, who was a good running back?
Freddie Mitchell, right? Wasn't it when they call him?
I think his name was Brian. I think his name was Brian Mitchell.
You could be. I thought the nickname was Freddie.
It was. There was a
That's somebody different.
Yeah, hold on real quick because I'm gonna pull it up on the side. Yep.
Yeah, so but you saw Nicole Hireman have the return off the first joint. I think Davis saw that, was like, word. All right, bet.
Yeah, on your computer, whenever you get a chance, just put in Brian Mitchell, and you'll see. Like it'll unlock a crazy childhood memory for you, I think. Because I feel like this is a good one for the fans too. Like, I love like randomly thinking about, like, he's 57 years old now. That's crazy. So yeah, he was playing like really mid 90s, late 90s.
Yeah, I got you.
But he was like, he used to get loose sometimes, and he was with the Eagles. And I'm like, yo, who is this running back returning kicks? And he was fake nasty for a little bit. But that was like, I'm going back. Like, yeah, Donovan McNabb, Todd Pinkston, and fucking, like you said, Freddie Mitchell. And yeah, them Eagles teams, I ain't gonna lie, I used to mess with them, but it was mainly because of Donovan McNabb.
Yeah, it was definitely because of McNabb back then. Yeah. But yeah, I just wanted to say shout out to Davis. So he had a couple nice returns, and to be able to get the ball starting at the 40, the 50.
Man, great field position. And we talked about that.
yeah, it makes the day easier for the offense. Granted, they didn't really take advantage of
Yeah, they didn't really.
any of those
Yeah,
drives. However, it does make it easier for the offense. So shout out to
100%.
him. Defensive side of the ball, man, it's I gotta shout my man Cole Bishop out again. Just
Yeah,
showing up and making plays. At this point, it's starting to look like. Granted, it's still a small sample size as a whole, but now we are a solid month and some change into some really high level play from him,
yeah,
and it's looking more like this is
yeah.
who he is or who he's
Who he is, right?
yeah. So
You can
it
say,
seems like less of a aberration and or a blip, and this is more of who he's going to be moving forward. So I want to say shout out to him. Shout out to Terrell Bernard. You can tell he not
not
100%.
100%, but he did play his best game this season.
But yeah, he was definitely much more solid this week, and you can tell like he's still putting the effort in, trying to get out there and make
Right.
it do
But
what he needs.
he here to, like you can't live in a smaller area like this and not hear the chatter. Like, dog,
Right.
we need you to step up. And like I said, he wasn't run stuffing and like smashing shit at the line, but there were a couple stops that he made, especially in the passing game, where
Yeah.
he was around the ball and,
Yeah.
and,
100%.
and making plays on the ball. So yeah, shout
Yeah.
out.
Last shout out I want to say is uh Jordan Poyer. 15 tackles. Again, you are not the athlete that you used to be. He was never really a high level athlete, and I'm talking from an NFL safety standpoint, not
Yeah, nah.
regular person standpoint. Like we were talking, you think the best of the best when you talk about high level athlete. So he was never that level of athlete, but he was always a great safety. So some of the speed is not what it used to be, but he really has been a stabilizing force for the back end of this defense. And he's making plays when he can. There's a couple plays where he looks 34, but
Yeah,
there's other times when you like, yeah, I'm happy that he's in right now because like I said, he's just a stabilizing force for that back end. Is someone who knows what's happening at all time, know where he's supposed to be, and for the most part, does a good job of being where he's supposed to be. Still getting his nose dirty, still doing some great run fills.
yeah,
So, and it allows Cole Bishop to play a little bit more free, which is the important thing. Like now that Poyer's in there, it allows Bishop the free reign to go do what he's doing.
right. And that's what we want. Cole Bishop is the Micah Hyde of this defense, and we need him to be able to, man to man zone, blitz. Like we need that to be Cole Bishop, while the other guy is able to kind of do their job. And I like Cam Lewis, and his impact, and Dorian Williams as well. So I want to throw a couple more names in the hat for just guys who, may not get their flowers game in and game out, but man, we got so many role players who are finding different ways to make an impact. The one thing I do want to do is take away one of the negatives that I want to see us address over the next, 5 to 6 weeks, and that's the run game. Defensively, I'm not going to say I'm at the point where I'm worried, but from a scale of 1 to 10, I'm at like a 6. And the only reason I'm at a 6 and not higher is because I do understand come playoff time, are some teams going to be really physical, ground and pound? Yes, to a certain extent, but I do also believe in the playoffs. There's going to become points where the game get real, and your quarterback got to make plays, and your wide receivers got to make plays. As we know, when we went to the playoffs the last couple seasons, when it came down to us needing to get a first down or us needing to get in the end zone. So I say that to say though, with Indianapolis, with Baltimore, those two teams in particular, and New England, I'll throw New England in there because even though they haven't been consistently running the ball well, I do believe the young dude is going to give them some juice down the stretch. The Bills got to get better against the run.
Oh yeah.
Um, and I know the chatter has been about the linebackers, sometimes the safeties in there. I continue to say the front line, I need them to get more stops at the line of scrimmage. And I know Deion Walker's been doing his best, so shout out to Deion, the rookie, for holding down as much as he can.
Right.
Obviously without Ed Oliver, but I'm looking at Daquan Jones. I'm looking at Greg Rousseau, Joey Bosa. I'm looking at you, yes, Joey, having a pretty solid year, but against the run, I need consistency, right? Epinesa, Jordan Phillips. Hey, love it that you pumping the crowd up, right? Every 4 minutes. Can I get that after you make a tackle for a loss of 3? Right? Because I grew up watching the Bills defense, run defense be dominant because we had Pat Williams and Sam Adams, right? Like you had the big boys in the middle, and I'm not saying we need 350-pound defensive tackles. We had the big boys in the middle, and you wasn't running. And if you did run past them, you was gonna run into maybe Phil Hansen, Sam Coward, Gabe Northern, John Holisek, who you want. All right, we ran the 3-4 back then. It was boys everywhere. You know, Marcellus Wiley, let's go on. But I'm looking at this defense and I'm like, we got bodies. I got big bodies. Greg Rousseau. All right, you 6'5, 6'6. I don't know, 260, 270. Okay, decent size. Epinesa, decent size. Bosa. Daquan Jones, you big, but you know, nice little sack with the fumble at the end. Okay, kudos. Shout out to that. But I need consistent effort from that D line. And I'm not just saying from your rookie. TJ Sanders, all right, your second game back on Thursday. Let's get it going. All right, because I would love until Ed Oliver to come back for TJ Sanders and Deion Walker to just add some real juice when they're in there together. Because that's really, I really want to see the two young guys in there together, giving me a little bit more than Daquan Jones is giving me, and more than what Jordan Phillips is giving me. Now, this may be the first game that we see the dude we picked up. I think I said his name last week, Morgan Fox.
Morgan Fox.
Yeah, this might be his first game in the lineup because I know he didn't play last week. So I look forward to see if we can get something there.
He's on the practice squad, right? They didn't sign him to the 53. Right?
Yeah, he on the practice squad, so he'll have to get elevated. But hey, at this point, we got to try something because we got to get better. And like I said, I do believe it's a collective thing. You know, when you got guys going in and out the lineup, somebody mentioned on the radio the other day, they're like, man, listen, these guys been one guy hurt, one guy come back, one guy hurt, another guy come back, another guy hurt, another guy hurt. So, like, it's hard to know what the man next to you going to do because you like, hey, I know what we go over in practice, but we ain't got no type of chemistry. But it's also still not an excuse. So, I don't know what your thoughts on that, but I thought that it'd be rude if we don't bring up the glaring weakness of this team because I do feel like one of those top 3 teams in the AFC is going to be either Indianapolis or New England. And I know damn well with those coaches, Mike Vrabel, and then I know what they're trying to do in Indiana, establishing the run with JT. We got to stop the run. We got to get better there. But again, I don't know. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm with you. Like this week was different. It was different than Miami. Like when Miami was running all over us, they were just dominating the line of scrimmage. They were moving, displacing. There was holes all over the field. Like this week was a little different. Like the scheme Tampa had, it was so much motion, man. Like if you look, I don't know how much time you've had a chance to kind of look back at everything, but I mean, they pulling tackles. Like Tristan Wirfs was, I mean, they were pulling that left tackle lead all day, but like they would pull him out, but also pull a guard going the other way. So like it was just so much eye candy. I felt like it was just Tampa came in with a great scheme to confuse the line and just kind of had them out of gaps, and then that's all it took. So like I felt like this was a game where the D line wasn't dominated. Like they weren't just blown off the ball, but either way,
right,
they weren't effective,
right,
for one reason or another.
Either way,
now, and so now this is multiple games of this. So the issue with it, can you win and still give up what they gave? I mean, you gave up 20 yards on the ground and still won by double digits. Can you still win? Yes, but it definitely lowers your margin for error.
Right.
And it has to be a game script that works for you. Like you have to be able to put up points like this. So, you know, you want to play a shootout every week, then go business as usual. If not, you got to figure out a way to tighten this up. You're not going to always, with the injuries that they have, you're not going to all of a sudden snap your fingers and this is a top 5, top 10 defense.
Oh, no. They're not built.
Can we get this run defense to 14, 15? Can we get it to middle of the road?
I'm about to say they're not built this year, at least, to be one of the best teams against the run. They just don't got the guys. You got older guys in the linebacker core who not moving like they used to. Your D tackles You got to revamp that in the off season. I know they already started that with TJ Sanders and Deion Walker, but they're going to have to add to that this summer. So, like, to get you through this season, not too much going to change. I just hope that once again, young guys they have a chance to develop. So, young guys, I expect Deion Walker to continue to grow. I expect TJ Sanders to continue to grow. I expect Greg Rousseau to have a bigger impact down the stretch. Because Greg, you've been there before, dog. This year, 5, 6, I think it's year 5. Bro, you've been down this road. You know what we need to get to the next level. I'm not telling you to be Miles Garrett because I know Miles Garrett is an alien. But dog, can you be great value, Miles Garrett? Shit. Can I just
Yeah.
you big as hell, bro? Like, can I
Right.
just see you pop on the screen 3, 4 times? Like, I ain't even asking for every series for you to make a play. I'm saying 3, 4 times a game, I need to hear, yo, Greg Rousseau, wow. Did you see that play by Greg Rousseau? Like, bro, that's what we drafted you in the first round for. So that's my thoughts on that. Like I said, I ain't want to spend too much time on the game, but it was a hell of a game. Probably go down as one of the games of the year when it's all said and done. 9 lead changes. 2 of the best quarterbacks in the league in the same draft class going back and forth. And then obviously kudos, we ain't have to really say it, but kudos to Josh Allen. 6 touchdowns, 3 in the air, 3 on the ground, tying Cam Newton for most rushing touchdowns in NFL history by a quarterback.
Regular season.
You said what happened?
I said regular season. He already
Oh,
got
regular
the
season.
postseason included record,
Yeah,
but
yeah. Regular
either
season.
way, it's dope.
Either way, he'll likely retire as the greatest dual quarterback ever. And that's not to say he's the most athletic. That's not to say he's the best running quarterback we've ever seen. When we say dual threat, we mean that this guy, when it's all said and done, will you can ask any defender. Was he one of those guys where you were scared that he was going to hit you with a 70-yard dot? Or if he was going to run you over and hit you in your mouth for a 15, 20-yard gain that close out the game, he going to be one of those guys. Now,
Yep.
granted, I've seen some great ones. Lamar Jackson, Michael Vick, Donovan McNabb had a little bit of wiggle in him. Steve McNair, Steve Young, towards the end of his career, I saw a little bit of that. But Josh Allen a little different. He gonna hit you in the mouth. He gonna juke you. He can outrun you, outrun your linebacker. So like, Josh just so different, bro. So I just want to say kudos to him for bouncing back, even bouncing back after a
Ugly start.
yeah, I was about to say the first half, I was kind of like, Josh, you good? You know what I mean? Want to clean the face mask a little bit, like you good over there. So anytime you get a guy like that, 6 touchdowns on a day where he not even playing his best, bro, that's insane. That's insane. All right. Like
Absolutely.
I want to be clear with that. When a guy don't have his best day and give you 6,
Listen, 6 touchdowns is crazy. And now that this has happened multiple times,
right? That's
you know
what I'm
how
saying.
hard it is to score 6 touchdowns as a team in a game.
Right. Better
But
yet, one guy accounts for all 6. Come on, man.
yeah, it's
Come on, man.
he's one of one, and I'm
That's,
happy
and
he's
that's why
our
the bar,
quarterback.
and that's why the bar stay where it's at. And I tell
Yeah,
people all the time, I'm gonna always keep the bar there because he's shown he can do it. So I don't got no reason to lower it. I don't got no reason to blame the weather or the receivers. He can do it. It's just a matter of doing it when we really need it. So kudos to him getting us a 7-3, but it's a short week, so it's Houston. And I'm not gonna lie to y'all, the last 2 or 3 times we kept it short about an upcoming matchup, we damn near lost all 3 of those times we did that. Like I remember it was a couple episodes on here. We was like, oh yeah, we playing Miami. Shit, what's your prediction? Oh, all
listen,
right.
hey, I put it like this.
Go ahead.
Offensively, Houston should not be in this game, even with a very right now subpar run defense for Buffalo. However, best defense in the league. So that alone keeps them in the game.
Right.
So by no stretch do I think this off rip that this is going to just be Bills walking to Houston and just win by 25. Like
Right.
Houston's defense is good enough to keep them in any game. Just because you got stars and top tier talent at every level of
Right.
that defense. So yeah, no, dude, you gotta be on alert for a team like this. Cause again, you get caught slipping and you only scored 17 that opens the door for Houston to get a couple touchdowns, a couple field goals. Next thing you know, it's the fourth quarter and it's a tie game or something. So
Yeah, and
yeah,
they're at home.
yeah, I can take Houston lightly. Bills cannot. They have not earned that,
Yeah,
especially defensively.
nah.
Marks
It,
come here, they try to run the ball, and if it's working, again with a backup quarterback too.
this is one of those games, and I'll keep it a buck with you, man. It's one of those games where health is wealth, where your young
Mm-hmm.
players need to step up because we know the veterans, they ain't gonna be 100%. Nobody on the team is really 100%. I mean, the
Yeah,
injury
it's
report,
listen. This week,
are crazy.
whoever is healthy, who is going to be the ones that's
Right.
rolling into this game. Like depth chart be damned. Y'all just played 2 days ago,
Yeah.
and y'all gonna play again in another 2 days, 4 days.
Right.
Listen, bro, I can go to the gym and be sore for 3 days.
Right.
I didn't just play an NFL football game for 60 minutes.
Yeah.
So to turn around and in 4 days, that's a hell of a prep.
Yeah. And you know what that leads me to believe? And I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. A lot of those young dudes who we kind of talk about a lot, they're gonna get a lot of run.
Yeah.
You know, the only veteran I really see getting extensive time is probably Shaq Thompson, just because he's had 3 or 4 weeks off, you know, with the injury, and you know, he's been a full participant the last couple of days. So I expect Shaq Thompson to be on the field, I don't know, 50, 60% of the time. I think they're gonna find a way to get him in there. Like, I don't know what
Yeah.
package,
Agreed.
who he lining up with, but Shaq Thompson, if healthy, is on that field. You know, just reading between the lines with, you know, how McDermott talks about him.
And he practiced in full last week too. So like
Yeah,
it looks like he's on track to play, but it's just
100%. So I expect Shaq to be one of those veterans that lead them out there with reps. You know, Greg Rousseau. But I expect a lighter load for Joey Bosa. I expect a lighter load for the Daquan Joneses of the world.
I want to see a lighter load for Joey Bosa, but like
I know.
man, they even got the defensive end horse. I mean, you got TJ Sanders. He played exclusively DN last week. Like,
That was ugly. That
yeah,
was
it's just that's out of necessity, but like, golly.
nah. And that's why I said we need the Fox. We need Morgan Fox to be up in the lineup because he a guy who I trust more at end than TJ Sanders. Like, TJ Sanders is not a guy that should be playing defensive end in the NFL. I don't even care if it's for one snap. Like, that's just not his game. I'm sorry. Like, yeah, I'll just leave it at that. That's not his game. It wasn't in the scouting report for me coming out of college, so no need to try to put that in his NFL package because he is not that type of rusher. But I will say, like I said, I'm looking forward to really the young guys providing some type of energy because Houston gonna bring it. I've said it week in and week out. These little low level, average Joe teams, especially this year, have brought the juice when they've played the Bills. Like, Bills really haven't had an opponent, even when we said the Saints was going to be a walkover.
They bring out their best against the Bills.
Right.
That's what happens when you're a good team.
Right.
You always gonna get everybody's best shot. And
Yeah.
that's why it's so weird when you be like, how did the Bills lose to Atlanta? How did the Bills lose to this? Because Atlanta brought their best punch.
Right.
Because they're going against the top tier team. That's what happens. You're always going to get everybody's best shot. That's why it's hard to be a great team.
Right. Yeah, people think New England all those years as a dynasty just cakewalk. No, they was squeaking out victories too. You know what I mean?
They was taking everybody's best punch.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Tom Brady walked out of a stadium with a fourth quarter, you know, go ahead touchdown because Denver Broncos then gave him all he could get. Like, that's a part of being one of those guys too. And that's the thing about playing Josh Allen too. You don't think these defenders want to intercept the Josh Allen pass?
Right.
You don't think they want to strip sack Josh Allen to be like, yeah, I got that back in the day. I sacked them 3 times in one of them games. So they got a target. But with that said, I'm with you. This is a game that they really should take care of. You know, defensively, fly around to the ball. If I know D'Amico Ryans like I know him over the last few years, he gonna just play physical, man. Whether that means run the ball 30 times or just, I don't know, you know, play aggressively through the air. I don't know. They could say, hey, Mills, they ain't not going to expect you to throw it deep. So the first play action, we going down the field to Nico Collins. I don't know, but I expect them to swing. I expect them defensively to bring pressure and be at the line of scrimmage. They might see what they did last week against Tampa Bay and say, so what? If y'all gonna beat us with Tyrell Savers and Gabe Davis, do it again. Show me again. So I expect them to say, hey, we not buying that whole 44, everybody eat shit. Do it again. So I expect Houston to be physical, crowd the line of scrimmage, corner blitz, safety blitz, linebacker blitz. We know they got the ends there. I think the crucial part for me, offensive line, got to have another steady week. They play very well. I feel like last week against Tampa Bay
Yeah,
at home.
I was just gonna say that the biggest thing, which I'm jumping ahead now, but the biggest matchup, in my opinion, is these tackles trying to corral these defensive ends. I mean, you have two of the best D ends in the league, and
Right,
probably the best tandem of defensive ends, and
right.
Hunter and Anderson. Like
Them boys
you
gonna have
got two of the best. So
to
Spencer Brown, Deion Dawkins,
be
and
ready.
also guards too, because they both can kick down inside and do some damage too, differently, but still can do some damage. Mostly Hunter, but
Right.
they're gonna have their hands full. So
That's the matchup.
again, but Houston also can't just rush straight upfield, because if you leave a lane for Josh, you know what's gonna happen. So I'm also curious to see kind of what the counter is. What is Houston gonna do to kind of keep that cage rush and that
You
contain
gotta
in
have
place
somebody
while
there.
still being who they are, which
Yeah.
is great at getting after the quarterback.
Hey, James Cook, baby, Ty Johnson.
Yeah.
I've said it anytime we played those teams, even when we played Atlanta. That's when you play your running backs. When you play in one of those defensive, aggressively. What word am I looking for? When you play one of those teams that are aggressive on defense, I'll just
You
put it
got to
that way.
beat them quick.
You
Get the
got to
ball
come
into the
quick.
hands of
Right.
your running backs and let them
Get the
boys
ball
go.
in the hands of your running backs, a couple quick slants, right? That can catch them off guard, maybe get 10, 15, 20 yards, maybe your receiver break one. I still say if Keon gets another chance to play, shit, one of his biggest plays last year came against Houston on a quick curl
Right.
route. So it's like these are the games we talk about run after the catch where your receivers got to be ready, right? They got to be alert. Josh Allen, you got to be alert at the line of scrimmage because it's gonna be loud there. It's a night game. It's in Houston. They already beat you last year. They 5-5. They in the hunt. They want this game. You don't think
Yep.
D'Amico Ryans done already threw shade at Josh before. That's why I kind of got fake beef with him. Like I respect him for what he doing, holding down for the black coaches in the league, but he didn't throw shade at Josh Allen before. He didn't throw shade at Josh Allen before. So like I'm ready for Josh Allen to walk back down in Houston and be like, y'all
Yeah, I
had
mean,
last year, 9 and
Josh is 0-3 in Houston. Like,
right. And in his
this,
last game against them, he went 9 for 30. So
yeah,
like,
this has not been a friendly place for him, but they got to show up. I want to see if they can build off the momentum from last week. But as we start to wind down this episode, we ain't go too crazy in depth. It's a little tough with the short week,
oh yeah.
but I do want to get your thoughts on how you feel this game is going to play out. Prediction wise, any stat prediction wise, what you got looking like for this week?
I was thinking about that, and I'm like, man, I can't go too crazy, but I do think offensively they do keep the train rolling. I can't give any crazy stat predictions from the passing game because I do feel like the passing game is going to be touch and go. Whether it's the Ty Johnson, James Cook getting 3 or 4 catches, and them, making somebody miss and do whatever. But I do think that this is a James Cook kind of game. So score prediction, I'm gonna go Bills. I'm gonna go Bills 31-16.
I like
I'm
it.
Bills 31-16. I think they cover the spread. I think the spread is like 5.5. And I'm not, and there's no disrespect to Houston. I just feel like even though we've seen this game multiple times now, right? We played Miami, we played the Saints, we played Atlanta. Like to me, this game's at this point of the season we know what we've already dealt with in the first 10, 11 weeks. Now is the time where we got to step on people. And I
Yeah.
feel like once they get ahead early, it's going to be one of those games where you see the defense, led by the Dorian Williams of the world, the fucking Max Harrisons of the world, Cole Bishop. I'm looking for one of those young guys that step up and make a play on defense. But offensively, I think that they keep it going. I think that Joe Brady comes up with a good game plan. And listen, I've been hard on Joe Brady, but I think Joe Brady, I would hope at this point in the season, realizes, hey, certain teams are going to do X, Y, Z. I have to have a plan. So I'm looking for them to have a plan, get the ball out the hands quick, utilize those running backs, James Cook specifically. And I also got James Cook getting 2 touchdowns this game. One in the
Okay.
air, one in the ground.
Okay. I got you. I got you. I'll start with my stat prediction first. I think I get one on defense, one on offense. Defense, I think this is another week where we get another Cole Bishop INT. Um,
Oh, cool.
yeah, I
Okay.
think my man is on a heater right now.
I'm not
Uh,
mad.
last time the Bills played against Houston, not the home one, but last time he played against Davis Mills, he had a extremely rough game, extremely difficult game. So one thing the Bills have been doing lately is getting some pressure when they're bringing some blitzes. And when you have a quarterback that is not your main starter, not your high end talented quarterback, I think they're going to bring some blitzes. I think it's going to cause some issues. I mean, I don't think it's a game where they're going to get a ton of sacks just
Yeah.
because they've been struggling with pressure a little bit. But correction, struggling with pressure is not just sacks, but I think they'll be able to rattle him enough and just a mistake here or there. And I think it's going to be Cole Bishop going to be the one to capitalize on that. Because I think they're going to try to get the ball to Nico Collins early and often. And I expect there to be some additional help on Collins, which is why I'm thinking Cole Bishop be able to snag one. But on offense, again, I'm sticking with the same parlay, and not even a parlay. I'm sticking with a Dawson Knox touchdown until my man get one. He's been close every time I show up. My man keep getting tackled inside the 5.
Right.
With Dalton Kincaid more than likely being out,
Definitely out.
a little bit more emphasis on the outside of the passing game.
Yep.
Great cornerbacks on this team.
Yeah.
Great cornerbacks. So, especially if we get down the red zone, I don't know if this is the team I want to necessarily challenge one-on-one on the outside in the red zone, which leads me to who's my target, who's my talent in the middle of the field. And Dawson Knox has been a great red zone threat for the Bills his entire career. I mean, I think I heard he's 1 touchdown short of tying the record for all-time touchdowns for a tight end. So,
Sheesh.
I'm going Dawson Knox touchdown. And for the game, I think this is a game that Bills will end up winning. It's a desperation game for both teams.
Yeah.
Houston's fighting for their division lives still, which I have a hard time seeing them coming back to, but also fighting for their playoff lives because they're in the hunt, graphic. So Bills also in gotta have it mode.
Yeah.
Only technically one game behind in the division race, but don't have the tiebreaker, so you don't have the luxury of losing a game like this.
You got to keep that gap.
Yeah, so I'm sticking with your 16 for Houston. That's the number I had in mind for myself. I got the Bills going 27. So 27-16 Buffalo is my prediction for this week. Not relatively close. I think it'd always be a healthy distance in this game where it's not overly stressful. Right. But I don't think the Bills are just going to be flying up and down the field. Like I think
they got to work.
Yeah, they will cause some issues for this team, but we just got to see how they bounce back, how they counter.
Brady.
Yeah. So as we wrap up that game, I was going to ask you kind of what's your game of the week thought, but I kind of already know what it is. It's got to be that Indianapolis Kansas City game.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's 1 o'clock too. Ooh-wee.
Yeah, so that's going to be. I haven't looked at the coverage map, but I'm assuming
that got to be the game. I mean, now that they got Cincinnati and New England on there, and then they got Jets and Baltimore, but they shouldn't. Nah. Hopefully, it's Chiefs, Colts. Hopefully, I got to look at the map.
Yeah. I'm hoping that's one that most of the country will have, just because it's a huge game, huge for Indy.
Big game. I honestly, what's funny about that game? I don't know if I was. Man, who was I talking to about it? Either way, I thought it was funny because I sat back and I was like, this really one of them games where like I can hate watch, but I can also enjoy the fact that whatever team wins is sort of a plus for me. Like if the Colts win, cool, you knocking back the Chiefs again. If the Chiefs win, cool, you knocking back the Colts to 3 losses. So I'm like, I ain't really mad.
Right. It's worth the conversation to decide what you want.
Right.
You can make an argument for either side, and both sides are like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
Right. So I'm like, and that's why I love this part of the year. Like I always say, like now that the Bills are good, the last 6 years around Thanksgiving has been really fun because you
Yeah,
literally get to sit at, you know, the table or you get to sit around your people and really look at these scenarios and be
yeah, and
like,
just watch how it start to play out. Like I'm at the point now where I'm like, shit, Kansas City, bury him,
right, like I'm damn near like,
bury him, rack up a
yeah.
couple more
I
losses
watched that
somewhere.
different game last week and I'm like,
My man says six,
yeah,
seven.
I mean, I'm like,
That's how
like,
many wins they gonna end up with.
you know what I mean? So that's definitely one. Definitely some sneaky shit going on because you got Tyrod getting a start for the Jets. They go play Baltimore, which I still think Baltimore handle business there. Um, Philly Dallas will be intriguing only because it's a divisional game. We already know Dak and them coming off 4 touchdowns. So like,
Mhm.
can they keep it going? Right? You know, you get to play Philadelphia, who's still going through some stuff behind the scenes, but and then even Pittsburgh, Chicago. Chicago.
Oh, that should be fun. And Aaron Rodgers may or may not play, so that's definitely going to be a
Right.
factor.
You got
But
Mason Rudolph.
yeah, you got Baltimore on your ass. You
Right.
don't
They
have
can't
the
like Pittsburgh can't afford to
yeah
really.
lose anything because you still got 2 games left, Baltimore.
Yeah.
So you drop a game here, and with 2 Baltimore games coming up, yeah, you're gonna make things a little tight for you. But another game I'm also interested in, that Tampa Bay LA Rams game. You got Tampa coming off 2 straight losses. Rams looking, in my opinion, like the best team in the NFC, but the pressure is on Tampa Bay
Yeah.
to right this ship. Granted, they're still
I think they
still
might
leading
be one
their
of those.
their their division. It's relatively safe. Like if they're gonna win their division, but you know they got to get back in that win column. So that's a game that is gonna be fun and
Yeah, it's like
interesting.
it's 5 or 6 good games,
Yeah,
and that's
even a Carolina San Francisco matchup, not from a pure entertainment standpoint, but
right.
Carolina's in the playoff spot or right on the cusp of a playoff spot as of today.
Right.
So can they do something against San Francisco? So a lot of good matchups on the table this week. Uh Bills are already be done. So it'll be a stress-free
Yeah. So
Sunday of football. I mean, it's annoying that yeah, that
take
New
care of
England gets
Buffalo.
Cincinnati without Joe Burrow, without
I know.
Trey
No.
Hendrickson, without Jamar Chase. But I mean, it is what it is too. But great week of football coming up. I'm excited.
Yeah. So woo. Got to get that yawn out. But
Shit, I only
anyways,
dropped about 15 this this
ah,
this this episode already, boys. So,
man,
what was that? Bang.
yeah, man. We've been yeah, busy time of the year. But listen, guys, gals, and everybody tuning in, watching, listening. We appreciate you all, man. This is getting real. Um, I said it 2 weeks ago, man. This is the meat and potatoes of the schedule. Man, we deeper than that. We in it. We in it. Every team clawing away. I mean, you got people clawing away in their fantasy football leagues, those who still playing. I know a
I'm
couple of
hanging on. I'm hanging on by the skin of my teeth, dog.
I was about to say I'm 5 and 6 in my one league, so I'm like, I'm climbing, but I'm just like, man, oh man, this is hard. So, shout out to y'all still at the top of y'all league if y'all there, and shout out to those that still
Congratulations. Oh.
yeah. Um, anyways, we'll be getting back with y'all next week. The pre-Thanksgiving special. So we'll be shouting out things we're thankful for, like we did last year, and once again, just wishing that y'all take care of your body, take care of yourselves, take care of your family, and let's have a great weekend, man. Let's have a great weekend. Bills, give us one for the holidays, man. Give us one so that we ain't gotta be shopping.
Preferably a stress-free one. That would be amazing.
Yeah. I don't need no Thursday where I gotta wake up
No
Friday.
thriller.
Yeah,
No,
I ain't
let's
trying to
just
wake up Friday upset.
let's win comfortably. Let's just get this wrapped up. Not saying it's gonna be a
Yeah,
comfortable
not
win.
gonna be easy, man.
Can we have a comfortable win, please?
Yeah, like I said, D'Amico Ryans. If I know anything about this dude, he not going to not let him come up in this house and just yeah. So he gonna make it tough, but we gotta come with the right plan This is a game, I've said it before, where coaching matters. McDermott, Joe Brady, Babbage, call a game. I don't got no time
Yep.
for that lackluster shit. Call a game. Get your fresh bodies out there. Hopefully we get Keon back out there. More of Jordan Hancock. Get more production from your front line on defense, and let's roll. So listen, I'm Val.
It's your boy Z. We appreciate y'all rocking with us for another week.
Yes,
This is In the Zone with V and Z. And we gonna catch y'all next week.
peace out, man. Love y'all, man. And as always, go Bills.